Hey there. So today we are going to solve another LeetCode problem named longest substring without repeating characters. Medium level, and it goes like this. Given a string s, find the length of the longest substring without duplicate characters. So there are some examples over here and also constraints showing that, well, first the string could be really long, and also it consists of English letters, digits, symbols, and spaces. Okay, so let's start to work on our code by introducing the result variable, which we are going to modify in this code and return at the end. Initially is going to be equal to 0. Then we are going to work with the string and its characters. And let's convert it to the array to avoid using any specific API related to Swift strings. Finally, we are able to iterate through all of the indexes inside this array. And at each iteration, we are going to handle the characters which we could get from the array using the index. Okay, so the idea behind this solution is that whenever we find the duplicate of the character which we already encountered in a currently observed substring, then we could shut down this observation, calculate the length of this substring, put it to the result if necessary, and start to work on the new substring. So how we could detect if the character was already encountered in the current substring. For that, let's create the substring chars indexes. It's going to be the dictionary which contains the indexes of our characters, and it uses characters themselves as keys. So at each iteration of this loop, we are going to put our index to this dictionary using the character. But before this, we are now actually able to check for the previous index of this character in this dictionary. And if it is there, then we have a duplicate, right? And we could recalculate our result by putting a new length there. And to calculate it, we are going to subtract the index by some kind of substring start index. Obviously, we would need this variable, so let's create it and fill it with 0 at the beginning, and we would need to modify it whenever we start to work on the new substring. Okay, so now we need to check that the previous index exists, but also it should be greater or equal to the substring start index. Because we could find the previous index in this dictionary, which exists, but it belongs to completely different substring, which we've already handled before. And if both checks passed, then we are able to modify the result. However, we are looking for the length of the longest substring. So first we need to check if our current result value is actually less than the new length. So we are going to put the maximum of this comparison between these two lengths to the result variable. Finally, as agreed, we need to modify the substring start index to start working on the new one. And for that, well, we are going to just cut off all the characters before the previous index, including the previous index itself. And so the new start index is going to be the previous index plus 1. So we finished our loop. And now we have a state when we have some kind of handled suffix of the string, and not every string is going to be finished with some character which has a duplicate in the last substring. So to handle that, we are going to calculate the length of this suffix using the array count and this substring start index. And again, if it is greater than the current result, then we are going to put it there. Nice. Let's check for any compilation issues. I think over here, and let's submit the solution. Nice, nice. So as you see, the execution time is 10 milliseconds. It beats 64% of other submissions, which is all right, but we could do better. So how we could squeeze some milliseconds of our current solution? So according to the description, the string consists of only English letters, symbols, digits, and spaces, right? So we are actually able to use the UTF-8 and the UTF-8 view of the string to simplify our job. So now the range of characters is significantly limited. And also, instead of using the dictionary for the substring character indexes, now we are going to use the array of integers. So in this array, we would still have the indexes of the characters, but now we are going to allocate it all at once and modify it using the characters, but not as keys, but as a position inside this array. So obviously the number of these indexes is going to be 256, and initially we are going to fill it with the index out of range, which is going to be -1. Great. So let's check for any other issues. So over here you can see that we are getting the character, which is not a character anymore, but a number. It's going to be an encoded character, and then we are using it as a subscript for the array. It means that the character must be an integer. We could modify it over here, but actually let's just convert our array of unsigned integer 8s to the regular integers. Okay, so now we shouldn't have problems with these, but now this line, when we're getting the index from the array, not from the dictionary, is not going to produce the optional result, so we could remove it from the if construction. I guess that's it. Let's check for any compilation issues. And nothing so far. And let's resubmit the solution. Nice. So as you see, now it takes only 0 milliseconds. Basically, the execution time of all 1000 test cases stands somewhere on the edge of the threshold, and that's why it beats 100% of any other submissions. And that's it for today. If you'd like to see me solving other LeetCode problems, then put your requests to the comment sections. See you next time. Cheers.